everyone. Welcome back. Today I will be doing some DC Universe facts. 100 of them, actually. I hope you are all doing fantastic. I will be 100% honest. I am not an expert or as knowledgeable in this universe as the other ones. And so for that, I apologize for any mistakes in this video, but this is all for fun. I love these facts videos, so I hope you guys are enjoying them too as well. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. The Hellbat is a suit of armor occasionally donned by Batman to handle large-scale threats in extreme battle scenarios. It was designed with input from each Justice League member and forged in the sun by Superman. According to Superman Birthright, Superman has the power to see the aura of all living creatures. Refusing to take any life and extinguish this life energy, the Man of Steel abstains from eating meat and becomes a vegetarian. Tim Burton listened to Prince's music constantly while shooting Batman, and said the musician's songs had a major influence on the creation of the film's version of the Joker. Prince eventually wrote songs for the film, but Burton reportedly hated them and only used them because he was contractually obliged. Writers of the Batman comic series featured that Bruce Wayne would look incompetent if he didn't kill the murderous Joker in a fight, so the villain was rewritten in the 1950s as a cartoonish prankster and forbidden to kill. But by 1969, he had stopped appearing in the comics altogether. It wasn't until 1973 that the character was allowed to return and kill again. David S. Goyer, who co-wrote the 2016 movie Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, claimed in 2005 that writing a Superman vs. Batman story is what a studio turns to when they have exhausted all possibilities. It's somewhat of an admission that this franchise is on its last gasp. David Bowie was considered to play the Joker in Tim Burton's 1989 Batman film, though the role went to Jack Nicholson. A few Batman comic artists continue to base their drawings of the Joker on David Bowie. Zack Snyder briefly considered hiring former Batman actor Christian Bale to play a completely new role in Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, in order to emphasize its distinction from the Dark Knight trilogy. Introduced as a member of the Green Lantern Corps in 1985, I don't know how to say this, but DKRTZY triple R is a sentient math equation. When permitted a chance to write his own Batman series, Clark's director Kevin Smith retroactively rewrote one of the most pivotal scenes in the origin comic Batman, Year One, to include the Dark Knight peeing himself in fright. Batman does not wear boots in Batman Returns. Instead, his batsuit is comprised of body armor connected to a pair of Air Jordan 6. Wonder Woman's sword in Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, is inscribed a quote from Joseph Campbell's collection Goddess, Mystery of the Feminine Divine. Life is killing all the time, and so the goddess kills herself in the sacrifice of her own animal. Superman actor Henry Cavill refused to shave his chest in order to portray the character in Man of Steel, citing the character's hairy chest is the death of Superman comic storyline as his reason against it. Wonder Woman was originally based on two women, the wife of creator William Marston and one of his former students that both he and his wife had sexual encounters with. It was revealed in Teen Titans, The Lost Annual number 1, that the John F. Kennedy of the DC Universe wasn't assassinated, but abducted by aliens in order to fight a tyrannical extraterrestrial government. As a Green Lantern, John Stewart refused to wear a mask, simply stating upon receiving his, "This black man lets it all hang out." According to the comic book Superboy number 83, Superman owns every album by the band Metallica on CD, his favorite being Justice for All. Frank Miller considers question about DC Comics' lack of minority comic book characters, the company, source senior story editor Ian Sadler, stated that DC had a large and diverse cast of green, pink, and blue characters. In many versions of Batman media, the Joker's cell block at Arkham Asylum is 0801, which spells out "ha" when the numbers are converted into their alphabet equivalent. In a 1997 issue of Superman, Clark Kent and Lois Lane attended a Halloween party dressed up as Batman and Robin, respectively. Before going to air, the 1966 Batman television series received the lowest test score ratings from selected audience in the history of the ABC network and was not expected to succeed. Frank Miller's anti-Islamic, critically banned graphic novel, Holy Terror, was originally developed at DC Comics as a piece of propaganda starring Batman, in which the Caped Crusader would fight Al-Qaeda in Gotham City. The mask worn by the Joker in the first scene of The Dark Knight was inspired by the makeup the Joker used to disguise himself in his first episode of the 1965 Batman television series, The Joker is Wild. Batman's willpower is so strong that he's capable of operating a Green Lantern ring when necessary, something considered practically impossible for average individuals. When disguised as Clark Kent, Superman slouches to make himself look several inches shorter and deliberately wears baggy clothes to hide his physique. He also wears glasses that alter the color of his eyes. He also changes the pitch of his voice. Clark Kent was initially chosen to become a Green Lantern by alliezara's ring, but was rejected because he wasn't native to Earth. The city of Melbourne was almost called Batmania after one of its founding fathers, John Batman. There are many types of kryptonite, including pink kryptonite, which turns Superman gay. Aquaman's trident is an indestructible magical weapon that grants him great powers and divine right to rule the sea. With it, he can manipulate water, create tidal waves or whirlpools, control the weather, disperse energy in the form of bolts and force fields, or just use it to stab his foes. In the early renditions, Batman hadn't adopted his no-kill policy and was known to kill villains if it was necessary. It has been stated in various Justice League comics that Wonder Woman can never be paired with Plastic Man on a mission, as he has been known to sexually harass his female colleagues in the past. For example, not only has he transformed into objects in Wonder Woman's room just to watch her change clothes, but even once transformed into a dress and tricked Big Barda into wearing it. Martian Manhunter possesses a vast amount of superhuman strength comparable to Superman's strength, easily making him one of the physically strongest beings on the planet. He has even shown to hurt Superboy Prime, and has even taken blows from enemies whose strength surpass Superman, such as Despero. He also has a psychosomatic weakness to fire, stemming from the traumatic, fire-related destruction of the Martian race. Because Green Lantern's ring has no power over the color yellow, Batman and Robin painted themselves and the entire room yellow before confronting him in the All-Star Batman and Robin. Logo is a member of the Green Lantern Corps, is an actual sentient planet. In the film The Dark Knight, the man who shouted, "We are not intimidated by thugs," to the Joker was actually Patrick Lee, the senior senator from Vermont and a self-confessed Batman fan. He has appeared in a cameo role for every Batman film since Batman Forever. The kryptonite ring is worn by Lex Luthor, eventually gave him cancer, and his right hand had to be amputated. The first Batmobile made its debut in 1941. It was a 1936 Cord convertible. In some old Batman comics, Joker also uses a utility belt. It contains various gag items including exploding cigarettes, hand buzzers, playing cards, flower pellets, snake pellets, sneezing powder, itching powder, and Mexican jumping beans. In 1981, Batman vs. the Incredible Hulk crossover comic, despite his relative lack of brute strength, the Dark Knight successfully defeats the Hulk in combat. From Alfred Pennyworth's first appearance until his reintroduction in the Silver Age comics, he was portrayed as an overweight, idiotic comic relief. Alfred Pennyworth is almost as accomplished as Bruce Wayne himself. At one point, as Gotham City in Batman #4 in 1940. Before that, it was stated that Batman lived in Metropolis or New York. The exact magnitude of Supergirl's strength is unknown. However, when she hits Superman, it actually hurts him, and he knows that he's never been hit that hard before. Originally a composite being, Firestorm had power over fire and heat, and could alter the atomic structure of objects. As of the New 52, multiple Firestorms exist, and Ronnie and Jason, as individual Firestorms, can combine to create Fury, a giant walking nuclear reactor. Darkseid's strength is so great that he can easily overpower heavyweights such as Superman and Wonder Woman in hand-to-hand combat, and even overpower the entire Justice League, including their heavy hitters. He has also been shown destroying a Green Lantern ring with his bare hands. DC Comics paid $130 in 1938 for exclusive rights to Superman. In 1978, DC Comics released a Superman comic in which he teamed up with Muhammad Ali to defeat an alien invasion. Green Arrow's chili is the spiciest food in the DC universe. Only Green Arrow himself and Batman can eat it without screaming in pain. In the DC universe, Santa Claus is a powerful 1800-year-old immortal entity whose bone dust was once snorted like cocaine by John Constantine. The original candidate for DC Comics' first headlining black superhero was Black Bomber, a white racist who turned into a black superhero under stress. He was described by historian Don Markstein as an insult to practically everybody with any point of view at all. In the 80s, DC's New Guardians comic featured a villain named the Emo Goblin, a white supremacist vampire who drank AIDS-infested blood and bit black people. What? After Batman and Robin rescued it from a slaughterhouse, DC Comics included a bat cow. DC Comics once created a hero named Dog Welder, whose strategy was to weld dead dogs to people's faces. What? Between 1966 and 1970, Warner Brothers and Atlantic Records, Electric Records, Non-Such Records, and DC Comics were all acquired by a company that ran parking lots. This company later became Warner Communications, and eventually Time Warner. There is a DC Comics supervillain named Snowflame that gets its strength from doing cocaine. What? This is wild. There is a DC Comics character named Danny the Street that is a sentient transvestite length of road with the power of teleportation. He travels around the world, putting on track shows for those cast out by society. DC Comics published an alternative version of the Superman comics where Superman landed in a Ukrainian collective and became a hero of the USSR. As a child, Slade Wilson's father sold him to the mafia to pay off some old debts. In 1997, Nicolas Cage earned $20 million to play Superman in Superman Lives, even though he never actually played Superman because the movie got cancelled. George Reeves, the actor who played Superman in the 1950s, was worried about his young hands after a boy pulled a pistol on him to test Superman's invulnerability. Reeves convinced the boy to give him the gun by telling him that someone else could be hurt when the bullets bounced off. Superman was once bitten by Dracula, but as Superman is powered by the sun, the vampire immediately exploded. According to the comics, Lex Luthor is pissed at Superman because he thinks Superman contributed towards the balding of his head when he was a child. Bruce Wayne, also known as Batman, is part owner of the Daily Planet, where Clark Kent, aka Superman, works, so Batman pays Superman's salary. In the Superman comics from 1958, Superman got a new power, the ability to protect a mini version of himself that had all of his superpowers. Eventually, he became jealous of it and tried to kill it, but it Nicolas Cage named his son Kal-El after Superman. There is a technique in Muay Thai called the Superman Punch that involves faking a kick to gain power behind the strike. Superman was first conceived as a bald, telepathic villain bent on world domination. There is a book called Becoming Batman, The Possibility of a Superhero, written by a neuroscientist, which covers in detail how much an ordinary person would need to train and adapt to become Batman. The Flash travels back in time, became a form of pure energy, and was the very bolt of lightning that gave him powers in the first place. While promoting his upcoming Watchmen film in 2008, future Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice director Zack Snyder admitted that he didn't find Christopher Nolan's characterization of the Dark Knight that gritty, claiming he gets to go to a Tibetan monastery and be trained by ninjas, but he doesn't get raped in prison. That would happen in my movie. If you want to talk about dark, that's how that would go. The dark film noir Art Deco field Batman, the animated series, was due to the use of black paper with light colors for animation, instead of the industry standard of dark colors on white paper. The 1960s Batman with Adam West was known for its morals and lessons, which included the importance of seatbelts, homework, eating vegetables, and drinking milk. Actor Marlon Wayans was going to play Robin in Batman Returns, the 1991 version. He still earns money for his 2-movie deal, despite never actually appearing as Robin. Following the 9/11 attacks, Batman voice actor Kevin Conroy volunteered to cook for police and firefighters. At the behest of another cook, he called out from the kitchen with his iconic Batman line and was greeted by cheers and applause from the emergency service personnel. In Australia, there is a parliamentary position called the Shadow Minister of Justice, and it is currently held by the representative from the electorate of Batman. There is a Batman villain named Condiment King, and he was defeated by slipping on his own ketchup. Michael Keaton was so against Batman Forever that even $15 million couldn't sway him to reprise his role. The Dark Knight was the first Batman movie to not have the word Batman in the title, and also not to have any bats throughout the film. When asked about his thoughts on Ben Affleck playing Batman, George Clooney responded by saying, "I am the least qualified person to comment on anyone playing the bat role of Batman, since I so terribly destroyed the part." When Christopher Nolan offered Heath Ledger the part of Batman in Batman Begins, he said, "I would never take part in a superhero film." Christian Bale refused to play Batman if Robin appeared anywhere in the trilogy. Batman was created not just by Bob Kane, but also a partner, Bill Finger, who was never credited for anything Batman related until recently. He is responsible for the original ideas of the Batman's persona, costume, Gotham characters, etc. In 2011, 2 teenagers in Vancouver, Canada, lured multiple pedophiles online by posing as a 15-year-old girl, only to show up at the meeting spot as Batman and Flash to record him. The 1946 Adventures of Superman radio show revealed the secret codes and rituals of the KKK, making it a laughingstock and drying up Klan recruitment almost overnight. There was a planned sequel to the 1997 Batman and Robin with radio talk show host Howard Stern considered to play Scarecrow. Batman creator Bob Kane said in a Cinescape interview that all of the actors to have played Batman up to that point before the series was rebooted in 2005, he felt Val Kilmer had given the best interpretation. In 2008, the mayor of Batman, Turkey, wanted to sue Warner Brothers and Nolan for using the city's name without permission. While filming Batman Begins, someone crashed into the Batmobile in a state of panic, thinking it was an invading alien spacecraft. The University of Victoria in Canada offers a course in the science of Batman. In 2011, 2 guys from the UK changed their names to Emperor, Spider-Man, Gandalf, Wolverine, Skywalker, Optimus Prime, Goku, Sonic, Xavier, Ryu, Cloud, Superman, He-Man, Batman, Thrash. What? The infamous Batman's growl in The Dark Knight is not Bale's fault, but Nolan's. The real voice during filming was more toned down and then heightened to a rougher, grittier vibe during post-production under the decision of director Christopher Nolan. Batman could exist in real life, but only for a few years. This is due to the incredible physical demands being Batman requires. And the last fact for tonight, Danny Elfman came up with the great night, day, afternoon, wherever you guys are. Have a great one, and I'll see you in the next video. And of course,